Welcome to our pond spring clean instructional video. The first thing you're going to need to do is to fill your holding tank with pond water. Notice we have a green filter mat around the base of the pump. This is just a guard to protect fish from being sucked into the pump. We'll remove this once we have the fish out of the pond. Holding tank full, now we're going to pump the rest of the pond water into the surrounding garden. While this is being pumped out, we'll remove the filter mats and the debris net from our skimmer and give them a clean. We'll remove some of the biomedia from the biofalls filter. There's like 48 litres of biomedia in here. It's very heavy, so we'll take about half of it out into a bin so as we can lift the bag with the rest of it out later on. Now the pond's pumped down. It's time to catch the fish and put them into the holding tank. I like to put a net over the top of the holding tank. Some fish, especially once taken out of the pond, they tend to jump out of the holding tank, so especially the big ones. So we'll just put a net over the top, a bit of bird netting in fact. Now we can lower the pump, we can take the guard off. We just spread the gravel and put the pump into the pump out depression and start washing the pond down. There's no need to water blast the pond or scrub it clean. Just wash all the loose debris, dirt and sediment loose in the pond. And as we wash it down, we will pump the dirty water out. It's almost clean. We've got another wash down and pump out to do. It needs to be done a couple of times until the water is reasonably clean. And while we're just getting a bit more water in there to come up on the pump level a little, we're going to trim up some of the plants, deadhead some of them, and cut them back where they need to be cut back. The right time to do your spring clean out is in fact just prior to spring, before everything gets active in spring and the fish start feeding strongly and more active, before the beneficial bacteria gets very active, and so as the pond is ready to activate itself and get going in spring and summer. Now we'll finish washing down, pumping the dirty water out. Any large debris that won't go through the pump we'll just take out by hand, big leaves, that kind of thing. Now the pond's pretty clean, so we'll just leave the hose in to carry on and start refilling the pond. While it's refilling, we'll take the rest of the biomedia out of the biofalls. This will be washed down and replaced back into the biofalls later on. We'll take the mat support out of the skimmer and place our sump pump into the skimmer so as we can pump that empty. Turn the pump on. Now give the skimmer a good rinse out and clean all the dirt, debris, any sediment out of the bottom of the skimmer. Disconnect the coupling and remove the pump, which will wash down, service and check that the check valve is all working properly, all cleaned up, ready to go back in. Now that the pump is removed and check valve is taken out, we can finish washing down the biofalls. Wash any sediment, dirt or debris out of the biofalls. Give the media support a good clean, and the dirty water will run back down the plumbing and into the skimmer box where the sump pump will pump it back out into the landscape. The biofalls is clean, the skimmer is clean. We've cleaned up the pump, we've checked that everything's working properly, and we'll just place the pump back in and reconnect. Reassemble the skimmer. Mat support. The filter mat, and of course the debris net. Now we've washed up all the biomedia, put the media bag back in place and refill it with biomedia. This biomedia of course is lava rock or scoria, as it's sometimes called. Push it into place, make sure that it's all filling all the gaps and corners so as the water has to flow through it and you don't get too much tracking. Now I like to check the water parameters. Specifically for my own pond, my water is very low on carbonate hardness. So I have to add product to raise that carbonate hardness. Carbonate hardness is a very important buffer for pH. Without that, the swings in pH are very large throughout each day and it is detrimental to your fish's health. Just doing a calculation on my phone there for the amount of sodium bicarbonate that I need to bring the carbonate hardness up to at least 100 parts per million. Mixing it in a bucket of pond water. And then of course I'll distribute it around the pond. The pond is roughly half full at this stage. Now the pond is 3/4 full and it's time to reintroduce the fish. Just taking some water from the holding tank into the bowl you see there and placing the fish gently in the water. I've pumped out the holding tank to be quite shallow to make it easy to catch the fish. Now we'll place the bowl in the pond. We'll allow it to float there for at least a half an hour. This will help acclimatise the temperature. While this is happening, pond's fairly full. We've got the skimmer and waterfall running again, and we'll add some live beneficial bacteria just to kickstart the pond back into action. Okay, the fish have been floating around there acclimatising for just a little over half an hour. What we're going to do now is empty around about 50% of the water out of the bowl and replace it with water from the pond. This will also help with the acclimation to temperature, as well as acclimatising them to the slightly different pH of the pond water. We'll let them float around for another 30 minutes or so. Now it's time to reintroduce the fish to our newly cleaned pond. So they're going back into the environment that they know and are used to. And there you have it. This pond won't need cleaning again for another 12 months.